Welcome back to MAPOP Sports. This is Grandy. If this is your first time here, welcome. Appreciate you guys checking out the channel, checking out this video. You guys are returning, welcome back. Hopefully everybody had a great week. This weekend kind of just kicked up and just making some sales, guys. Finally, I think after the show last week here in Denver, this week I was just kind of really getting into the flow of eBay listing stuff. So hopefully that's working the eBay algorithm, because I definitely have seen some sales moving on. So that's a good thing. So that's just one of those things where I'm not 100% sure. I don't work for eBay, so I don't know how exactly their system works, but it just feels like as soon as you're listing more, working more, just interacting in the platform itself just helps sales and stuff like that. So go figure. All right, guys, let's do a Q&A this week. I haven't done one in quite some time. I know last week I had the show and everything, so it was kind of tough to be able to record last weekend, but let's jump into it. Lots of questions. I'm going to do as much as I can. I'm not going to make this a super long video. But, all right, first question. What is the difference between a Tag 10 and a PSA 10? So Tag is another company that grades sports cards. PSA, obviously, everybody knows, well, should know who PSA is. So technically, what's the difference, right? This is primarily probably for someone who's just getting to sports cards or getting to the grading scene. Technically, it's subjective. So grading sports cards is very subjective. It's whoever the grader feels, if the card is a 10 or a 9 or an 8, whatever the case may be. So it's super subjective. What's the biggest difference between a Tag 10 and a PSA 10? It just depends on the grader. Now, value-wise, is going to be a huge difference. Obviously, PSA, for whatever reason, the hobby just adores PSA, and they just value them higher. So if you're going to buy a card, or you're going to have a card that's exact same card, let's just say it's a Luka Silver PSA 10 rookie versus a Silver Luka Tag 10, value-wise, PSA is just going to be much more. In reality, is there a big difference? I couldn't tell you unless I put both cards together next to each other and just kind of look at the surface, corners, all that stuff, centering, all that together. So there's no huge difference in that without looking at it. But value-wise, it's just astronomical. The PSA 10 is just going to rule. Even SGC Beckett 10s don't even compare to the PSA 10s in regards to value-wise. The difference, like I just said, you got to put the two cards next to each other just to see, because as I mentioned, grading is just subjective up to the grader. So there's really no difference until you put the cards next to each other, but value-wise, big difference in regards to what the hobby is going to collect and what's going to be more liquid. So that's the biggest thing. PSA is going to be way more liquid than Tag. Just it is what it is. Secondly, sourcing video. I did do a sourcing video before. I'll see if I can post that up in the link in the description on my sourcing. Primarily my sourcing, how I source all my inventory. Primarily, I have a handful of gentlemen who are in the hobby. I got several here in the Colorado, Denver area, and I have several in the Iowa area that I reach out to on a bi-weekly basis. They've been guys that I've honestly have been sourcing through them probably for the past 40 years now. I have a good working relationship. Most of my sources I have all were primarily met through sports card shows. And I keep telling people this, sports card shows is probably the best area to source and also network, because when you're buying, you can buy obviously at the shows and everything, get a great deal, but then on top of that, anything offline, if you build that rapport with dealers and sellers, things like that, they can be a source offline, when there is no show. So those are the best bet. Obviously, Facebook Marketplace is a spot, Craigslist, but just be very wary. There's a lot of scam artists, a lot of scammers. So that's why I say beat the person meet the face-to-face at shows, build a rapport, get used to them, get referrals, things like that. That's what I would recommend in regards to sourcing. Sourcing off of eBay, you can, in my opinion, to do PCs, but to do as inventory to resale, margin's going to be very slim on that end unless you're going to go into the grading the realm of grading, taking the raw and grading it. That's another way to source through eBay. But other than that, I wouldn't source through eBay to resell, especially if you're going from raw to raw. It's just not enough margin in my eyes. So, Dealers with, somebody asked, this is a great question. Dealers with the buy, sell, trade banners at shows. I believe that somebody commented that they went to a recent show recently, and you see these everywhere. So if you've never been to a show, or if you're going to shows, you see these dealers who have all these huge banners that says buying, selling, trading, and they were mentioning how they felt like they went up to them, they asked if they're gonna buy, sell, trade, and they're like, no, we're primarily selling. But yet they have the banner that says that, or people who just aren't really, they're just looking to sell. That happens quite often. They were just asking what are my thoughts on that. Well, this is the thing. I ignore every one of those signs. Simple as that. Those signs are marketing schemes to get somebody to bring their cards or just to come to their table and look. That's what I believe. There are some people who definitely are buying, selling, and trading. I usually buy, sell, and trade. But the thing is, people come and ask me, and I tell them straight up, what am I looking for? I usually buy, sell, I buy and trade for PCs. So anything for like my daughter who loves Caitlin Clark or Steph Curry's. I tell the person right there and then, those are the cards I'm looking for, or Tom Brady's, or possibly just a Walter Payton. That's about it. Those are kind of my PCs. Those are kind of guys that I look for, and that's about it. I don't have a banner. My thoughts are the people with those banners, I ignore them. Not that big of a deal. It's just a marketing scheme in my eyes. That's why they have it, standing up saying BST, buy, sell, trade. We're buying at 80, 90% comps. We're buying all the time. It's just to get you to their booths. And that's what I believe. So, is it in a way scheming? I mean, it's just a marketing scheme. That's what it is. I mean, I wouldn't say it's false advertising. It kind of is, but like I say, if you ignore it, it doesn't affect you. And that's what I usually do. I ignore it. If you want to see if somebody is buying, sell, just ask them and they'll tell you. And if they go, no, I'm not buying, then you just move on to the next person. It's not that big of a deal to me. It's just, it is what you make it is. So if it's something that bugs you, then yeah, it's going to bug you. But if you just ignore it, it's not that big of a deal. So, but like I said, it's a marketing scheme. You're going to see those at all the shows. Does it work? It probably does. Obviously, this person went up to them, so it did work. It's a good marketing scheme to get somebody to your booth and to your table. So I guess it does work. Where are profits coming from? Is it just coming from regular Joes and Timmies who come to shows, or just buy collecting cards? So this is my thing in regards to sports cards and the profits that are coming from. Everybody's always asked, well, if we're just buying, selling, trading, trying to get more profit, where the hell is the profit from? Keep in mind, this is a luxury want. Sports card is not a necessity to live. It's not food. It's not water. It's not, warmth. It's not a house. It's sports cards, guys. It's a want. So primarily, where's all the profits coming from? Is for people who has excess money to buy sports card because this is a want. This is not a need. So profits are coming when people have a little extra money to spend here and there, or people who are in the hobby. Yes, they're spending because, like I just said, they're buying stuff because this is a want. So keep that in mind. So that's where all the profits is coming from in my eyes, is that when people have excess money, if the economy is doing good, if people have good jobs, because primarily if you look at the hobby in this, in all of, I guess you said the US right now, a lot of people who have the money who are buying these cars are mostly, people who have jobs, have careers already, who are looking to collect and everything, and they have excess money. That's what it is, because like I just said, it's a want. It's not a need. So that's where the profit is coming from. That's where I feel like all the money will generate and keep this industry rolling, is because it's a want, like I just said. So people, it's just a way for people to kind of get away, the collectors to get away from their real lives and everything. That's what I believe on that. So, people were asking at the last show I did, were the bulk buyers of the slabs and I think were they repackers. I believe, I think the first day I sold to a guy who was a repacker. I think the second day I sold to a gentleman that was not a repacker. He just wanted to stuff for his shop. So yes and no. I think repackers were there at the very, very beginning on the first Friday, I felt like. I think there were just going around and buying whatever they could. There was a lot of bulk purchases. A lot of these guys, were they buying strong on comps wise? Some of them, yes, some of them, no. A guy, I had to, get them to be where I needed to be to make a profit margin on that. But repackers, I think, it's going around all of YouTube how all these repackers are going up, buying up all the inventory. Inventory is coming hard to come by, and it is happening. I do see it. Some guys say they are repackers, some don't even mention it. But for a fact these guys are repackers. They buy this stuff. They're not reselling instantly. They're just packing that stuff up because they're gonna go and repack it. So it is happening, guys. So all these repackers are buying. They are buying strong. They're buying in bulk. And then other guys that I was selling to were storefronts, and I believe they are just getting inventory. So when I buy bulk, when I'm selling in bulk, especially the slabs and everything, usually it's either one or the other, and usually it's a store guy, so I just kind of build a rapport with them. So if you guys are wondering, people are buying up all the inventory, it is happening. So I don't know how, is it going to be an issue in the industry on down the road since all the repackers are buying all this stuff? Who knows? It remains to be seen. It's just another avenue for people to generate revenue. Repackers are, they see an opportunity to make money. That's where other repackers are doing, and that's what they're doing. People are buying the repack because they feel like they get a better return when you're buying versus buying just straight wax. So at the end of the day, is it going to hurt the hobby or not? We don't know. People, you can guess it is, or you can guess that it won't, or it's just another avenue to generate revenue. There's always going to be new things. I told you guys this before. There's always avenues to change, adapt, and understand that it's always going to be revolving and changing in the industry. So repacks is here to stay. Is it going to go anywhere anytime soon? I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. However, I do see a mass increase. How that's going to affect the repack business is going to be interesting, though, because I think within the next year or two, you're going to see multiple repackers, multiple mystery packs. It's just going to be an abundance of that. So is that what people are going to go straight forward to versus buying wax to rip and open now? We don't know. We'll reconvene this in another year or two, and we'll see how that's affecting the business and the industry as a whole. So we'll see. But yes, it is real. Repackers are buying a lot of stuff. So another one was shows I plan to do the rest of this year. I do plan to try to do as many of the Denver card shows as I can. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any Midwest and Iowa shows. I think the big one is happening or coming up here pretty darn soon, and I won't be able to attend that one. If my schedule allows me to do an Iowa show, guys, I will try and do one, but it's just difficult to load up all my inventory, take it over there, and just do a show. It's just difficult for that, but possibly we'll see. But I do try to plan to do as many of the Denver, Colorado shows as I can, since I live here now, so I want to try and stay as local as I can possibly on that. But other than that, I might try to see if I can attend some other shows within the region if I can, but it's just difficult because, as you guys know, I got 4 daughters, 11 and under, schedule conflicts every weekend with activities, things like that, so we will see on that. Scanner I use, I think I've said this multiple times, but just for those who are new, I had the Fujitsu FI 8170. That's the current scanner I use for all my low-end cards to scan and list. Any cards that are about $15 or less, I scan, it goes through that machine. Everything else, most likely I take a picture and I list manually on that, and so I don't put anything high-end into those scanners. Luckily, the scanner has been decent and good to me. People, obviously, there's always going to be I guess you can say issues here and there with scanners, so it just all depends. Hopefully, cross your finger that whatever scanner you look to get, it provides and does well for you on that. Last but not least, hours worked. Somebody was asking me, how many hours a day do I work? Quite a bit. It's a multiple in regards to when I work, because I do, like I said, I do shuttle my kids to school back and forth Monday through Friday, and it just depends. So I try to get my morning, list scanning sessions in the morning done. I get my shippings in the midday done, and then I get to the listings and the pricings at the end of the day, and then I try to do sourcing somewhere in between. So in reality, I probably do, let's just say, if you break it down scanning wise, I probably do 2.5 to 3 hours a day of pure scanning, cards, or taking pictures of slabs that I have, or taking pictures of super thick cards, things like that. So I do 2.5 to 3 hours of that. I usually spend about 1.5 to 2 hours packing and shipping all orders. And then I usually, in between all of that stuff, listing and pricing, I probably spend another 3 hours. I want to say 3 to 3.5 hours doing that. And then I probably spend another hour to 1.5 to 2 hours of sourcing somewhere along the day. So, I mean, I easily put in 10 hours a day or more. It just depends. And on the weekends too. It just depends. And that's the benefit of owning your own business and running your own business and doing this yourself as an entrepreneur, is that you set your own hours, you do what you can. But I do make it a conscious decision that this is the amount of hours I'm going to do this during this day. When it happens throughout the day, it just depends on scheduling for my family and I, but I try to get those in, knock it out every day. So there it is. There's the grind, guys. So other than that, hopefully you guys picked up something. If you guys like this stuff, feel free to subscribe. If you have not subscribed, I always tell everybody I appreciate you just checking out the video and checking out the channel. Make sure to check out the eBay store. Link is in the description. Every little bit helps, so feel free to make an offer on any of the cards. I'll be listing some more slabs throughout the weekend. I got some new raw stuff, some new cards I'm going to be listing, scanning, and listing throughout the weekend and next week. So make sure you guys check out the eBay store. On my road to 50,000 listings, that's my goal. Hopefully within the next couple months here, I want to get up to 50,000 listings on my eBay store. And then next month, I'm upping on my inventory for the next Denver card show. I'll be there in a couple weeks here, actually in about a month. So other than that, man, go have a good weekend. Till next time. Go Caitlin Clark. Till next time, guys.